intentionality as a father, if you're intentional. One day my dad, before I'm having kids, I'm having a conversation with him. I'm like, listen, for many years, I saw you once a week. I calculated how many days I saw my dad from the day I was born till I was 18 years old. It was like 500 days.
Really?
I only saw him 500 days. It was once a week. And then when my parents got a divorce, in Germany, I never saw him, never even talked to him once for 18 months. And when I came here, they got a divorce. I saw him once every other week for 1 day. So you're talking about what, 26 days a year. 26 days a year for 5 years. Do the math. I've seen the guy 500 days from 0 to 18. He's my hero. He lives with us, right? I asked him, I said, do you regret any of it? He said, not at all. I said, why not? I said, look at the man you are today. You're independent. You're a leader. You're all this other stuff. But let me tell you something here that I think Vinny and Adam, you guys are going to get emotional when I play this clip. Have you seen what Gene Hackman said about his father?
No.
Gene Hackman just died at 95 years old. Nominated for 5 movies, 5 Oscars, right? I think he won 2 of them. Phenomenal actor. I don't think anybody disputes how great of an actor he was. His house, where one time at Pebble Beach, the guy says, that's Gene Hackman's $30 million house. This is like 12 years ago. He's asked here about his father. In this interview, he's 78 years old. I want you, by the way, did you even know I was going to play this clip? Rob, did you show him the clip or they haven't seen the clip?
Who's 78?
So Gene Hackman died at 95. This is him at 78. This
17
is
years ago,
17 years ago. The interviewer is a great interview. This Insider Actor Studio does a great job. He asks him about his dad who walked away at 13 years old. Look how this 78-year-old alpha winner reacts to that question. Go ahead, Rob.
How old were you when your father left? Well, my dad left us when I was about 13, I guess.
Was it easy, hard?
No, it was tough.
Tough. I've read that there was a sort of casual wave goodbye.
Yeah, I was down the street playing with some guys, and he drove by and kind of waved, and
that was it. But you saw him occasionally, presumably, huh? Were you close to your mother?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Did life change radically?
It's only been 65 years or so.
Wow.
Still affects them at 78 years old.
That pause, I know that he pictured that moment with his friends and his dad just going, peace out.
And that's beautiful. And I'm about to cry now because I miss my father every single day. But I haven't left my children, and I'll never leave my children, and I'm there for my children. And you said a very important word there. You said intentionality. I think that's important because if my sons come over for 2 days, for those 2 days is very intentional parenting. It's very focused. It's very directed. I would argue that Andrew Tate, for 2 days, focused and directed, will be a better influence on boys than 12 hours a day, every day for most of these normal dudes sitting around on the couch ignoring their kids. So we have to also keep in mind intentionality and potency. And we also have to keep in mind financial capability. Elon can raise 14 children. He can simply afford it. Correct. I can simply afford to have 14 kids. These kids are not abandoned in any way. I speak to them on the phone every single day. I see them all the time, 2, 3, 4 times a week. So this is just another attack vector that's used against me because, you know, it's hard to call me stupid and it's hard to call me broke and it's hard to call me unsuccessful. So the easiest attack vector on me is to call me a bad person. So they simply say Andrew Tate's bad. Well, why is he bad? Oh, because he doesn't see his kids. How the fuck do you know? How the fuck do you know? Oh, because he hates women. Says who? Oh, I made a joke. Sure, I made a joke. I hate women. Well, how come I have so many women around me if I hate them and I'm such a bad person? I'm so mean. Oh, but he was accused. Accused by who? Romania? Like, this is all garbage, right? There's nothing I enjoy more than being a father. I love being a father, and I love raising my children. I think it's the most beautiful thing on the planet. I always say to people, there's nothing more important than having kids. I advocate for it all the time. And I would argue Elon does the same. But I'm also a full-grown man with a mission to complete, and I have lots to do. And sometimes I cannot be sitting at home with the kid playing kid things because I have to do big, important things. And my son will call me after he's finished karate and he's beat some kid's ass, and I'll say, good job. You're living up to the Tate name. Now I have to go beat the prosecutor's ass, and we're warriors, and I'll see you in 2 days. The jet will be waiting. See you soon, son. And everyone's going to attack me and insult me, and that's fine. But is that very interesting, what your father said about who the man you are today, right? Can't you judge by results? Isn't that how we're supposed to operate anyway? The whole scientific method is you do X, Y, Z. What is the outcome? So your father did what he did to make you who you are. I saw my father about the same. And I am who I am. And I see my kids more than my dad saw me. And also, I have a lot more financial capability and fame and influence than my dad had. And he managed to raise me one of the most influential people on the planet. So I'm very sure my kids will be fine. And all my haters and detractors, the little pastor in Nebraska who thinks he's a tough guy, I would argue, and I state this is not hyperbole. I would argue that my sons will beat your sons in any competition you can name. My children are smarter than yours, and they'll beat the shit out of your boys. And I fucking guarantee it. And I'll also guarantee in 20 years from now, you're going to see the UFC roster, Tate. So you can hate me all you want. But when the results are world champions, when the results are endlessly influential males, which continue to fight the matrix as I grow old, it doesn't matter what you say. What matters is the end result. And my children are being bred for war. My sons don't do what your sons do, Mr. Pastor. My sons don't scroll YouTube aimlessly. My sons don't go to school and be programmed with garbage. My sons spend 12 hours a day, every day, preparing for their future life, which is going to be similar to mine. Nothing but heartache and stress and war. My sons are ready to go jail now at 5.
Let's not put the 5-year-old in jail, Tate.
They're ready at 5. Shit. At 5, they're like, yes, sir. If they say I have to go, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. My children, I could say to my sons, sit down. And I can tell them to sit down in quiet, without an iPad, without a TV, and they will sit still for 5 straight hours and just sit there. Because I told them to. They understand. This is my world, and you're being raised in it. I watch your other children without an iPad, they're throwing a fit, won't eat their food, this garbage. All these people want to accuse me of being a bad parent. Look at your fucking kids. My kids are quiet on planes. My kids are in a row. My kids are saying yes, sir, no, sir. My kids are quiet on command. My kids don't need entertainment. My kids are perfect. And I'm not just saying that as a father. I guarantee you, when you next see me and my children, you're going to be like, he wasn't lying. My kids are soldiers. So don't worry about my children. Worry about yours. And if you really believe that I'm a bad parent and you're better than me, I'll tell you what. Your son and my son can meet in the cage. We'll sell it.
5-year-old kids in the cage?
5, 10, 15, 20, 60, doesn't matter. You tell me when your kid is ready and my kid will beat the shit out of yours. And I'll beat the shit out of you.
Would you?
Anytime, any place. Father, son, Royal Rumble. Cole Dana.
That'd be ridiculous.
Anytime, any place. Father, son,
Let's go.
Cole Dana.
Hulk Hogan.
I will get that pastor by his neck and I will show him. I will show him a man. I will get that pastor by his neck and finish him. And my son will do the same to his offspring.
Pat, I want to hear the rest of your list because you went to 1 and then he started doing 5-year-olds in cages.
I will finish them.
Tate, do you believe in hitting your kids?
I believe in life, there is a line in which violence appears. I want to make this very clear because people are going to try and misinterpret it. I do not believe in abusing children. I do not believe in beating children at all. But I believe in life, there is a line in which violence appears. And this is true for everyone. People often say, shouldn't hit girls. So yeah, you're right, shouldn't hit girls. I'd never hit a girl. Say, well, that's not necessarily true. I'm sure if a girl turned up and set your house on fire and then killed your dog and then tried to stab you, you'd do something, right? I mean, police officers shoot women when they charge at them with knives. Like, nobody is off limits to violence. Yeah. There is a line that if you cross, violence appears. Now, do I hit my kids? No, because I don't have to. But would I? Sure. If I say, you better stop, and he disobeys me. You better stop, he disobeys me. I'm a man and you're a child, and I'm about to show you why. You don't want to find out. This is your last warning. If he defies me, he has crossed the line where violence will appear. Will he be hurt? No. Will he suffer bruises and will he need to go to hospital? Of course not. He'll be absolutely fine. But he will learn that there's a line. Now, we all know that as men. We all know if I get in your face and keep talking too much, sooner or later, we're going to fight. We all know that, right? So how can I raise boys and not prepare them for the real world? The real world that we live in, not the false world that women want to live in, not the false world that liberals want to live in. In the real world, if you run your mouth, sooner or later, you're going to get checked. So you have to be prepared to fight for every single word you say or don't say it. And I think it makes me a good father to make it clear to my boys that if you want to talk tough, that's fine, but there will be consequences. Now, if you beat me up, then you can keep talking. If you beat me, then you can talk.
Kids beating Andrew.
You want some pops?
Respect to this
you want
kid.
some of this?
Yeah, I'll say to him, look, I've given you an opinion. You've given me your opinion. It seems there's an impasse here. Yeah. It looks like we have to go kinetic, sir. So if you beat me, then you can continue to tell me you want Cheerios. But I've said there's no motherfucking Cheerios. So it is what it is. So the answer, truthfully, respectfully, would I hit my children? If they cross the line, yes. Am I a psycho? No. Have I had to hit my kids thus far? No. But one of the main reasons I don't have to hit them is because they know I would. Let's analyze this. This is important. One of the reasons I don't have to hit my kids is because they know I would. One of the reasons the police don't have to shoot you is because you know they would. If you knew the police would never shoot you, you wouldn't comply. You comply because you know there is a threat of violence at the end of it. And there's a lot of people who are anti-violence, right? People go, oh, violence is bad. Guys, wake up. Violence is the underpinning of civilized society. Violence runs everything. This world we currently live in is run by violence. Why am I returning to Romania on the 23rd of March? Because if I don't, they'll put out a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper. What can a piece of paper do to you? Well, that piece of paper means guys are going to come get me. And who are those people? Why don't I tell them to fuck off? Because if I do, they will become violent. That piece of paper has power because it is backed by the threat of violence. A police officer has power because it's backed by the threat of violence. And a father has power because it is backed by the threat of violence. My sons know if they disrespect me, there will be consequences.
What do you think you owe them? What do you think you owe your kids?
It's a really good question. Let me quickly analyze if I owe them or if they owe me. Because I feel like they owe a lot to our last name. I feel like they're heavily indebted already. I feel like they owe me and they owe my father and they owe our last name and they owe our bloodline. I feel like they owe me. I owe them the best chance they can be to be their best selves. Of course I do. And I am heavily interested. I am father of the year. Anyone who thinks I'm not a father, I guarantee you I spend more time micromanaging my son's upbringing to make him a hero than you could possibly believe. So I do have a duty to them to give them the best possible chance, but they have a duty to me to not squander it. My children have a massive burden over their head, which is the Tate name. And people often say, oh, you know, it's bad to have a father who you're trying to live up to. Da, da, da. I mean, I'm sure loads of psychologists say this, but they're all liars anyway. Psychology doesn't work. They've never cured anybody ever. So psychology is garbage, and therapists are garbage, and liberals are garbage, and what women think about raising boys is garbage too. That's all garbage. I think the best thing that can happen for a boy to be raised into a kingdom and look up and say, shit, dad's the fucking man. I gotta be like dad. This is hard. Oh, it's a burden of performance. Oh, does that make you feel stressed? Welcome to life, son. Because guess what? I have a burden of performance. I have a burden of performance in that courtroom. I have a burden of performance after a 12-hour flight to get off the jet and walk out to the media and deal with them. I have a burden of performance permanently and endlessly. So that's the real world. If you're a man, you have a burden of performance. So I make sure that they understand that from a very young age.
Example. The example is what you owe them.
Yeah.
Everything else?
No, it's my job. You know what? It's actually a balancing act. And I'll be honest with you, very honest with you. Raising daughters is so much easier. Because with my daughters, I feel like I just want her to be happy. You know, my daughter, I just want her to be happy. You want to be a princess? Oh, you're a mermaid. That's great. You're a mermaid. You're a princess. It's Christmas. You're happy. You're smiling. With my daughters, I just want them happy. But with my sons, it's far more detailed because I don't want my sons to be happy as much as I want them to be capable. I don't want my sons to be miserable, of course, but I don't wake up and think, just make him happy. I do with my daughters. I'm the worst. I'm a girl. With a girl dad, she wants a toy. Give her the toy. Oh, he wants a toy. He wants what? What does he want? How many push-ups has he done? What do you mean toy? What toy? Bring him here. And I get mad because with your sons, you're far more, you have to prepare them for life as a man.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Toughness.
It's hard to be a man. So I have a duty, truthfully, I think to my sons, the hardest thing is for me not to be as soft as I want to be.
Ooh.
Like with my daughter, with your daughters, you get to just be yourself. And everyone thinks that I'm a big, mean, evil man. But you'll often know if you've been through enough life that the mob bosses or the big evil man, we're the softest guys. I'm so soft with my daughters and with my kids. And sometimes with the boys, it's hard to be hard on them. But you have to be. It's my duty sometimes to harden my heart and say, no.
Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.